just to earn the right to play in this World Championship. Intense training, reaching for perfection. Each player with one singular ambition, to be here, now, for this moment. The quarter-finals, the next all-important round in the quest for the chance to be crowned the new young champions. The tension mounts, the excitement builds. This is it. Join us now as we watch the best young teams in the world. From Coca-Cola Sports Entertainment, the very best in international soccer competition. It's the FIFA World Youth Championship for the Coca-Cola Cup. And now, live from Canberra, capital of Australia, it's Germany versus Australia. Game 27 in the quarterfinals of the 1981 FIFA World Youth Championship for the Coca-Cola Cup.
And a very warm welcome to the Bruce Stadium here in Canberra, the capital of Australia, and to the World Youth Championships, where of course the young Australians, who have already done superbly to have made it to this quarter-final, take on the might of West Germany. And it's a fine sunny day here with a nice crowd, as you can see, a pretty good crowd, perhaps not the size that one would have expected, but a good crowd for the city of Canberra, and a fine sunny day, the weather having beautifully cleared up following a cloudy, gloomy morning here. The temperature is a little bit cool on the cool side, about 17 degrees forecast, and that's about what it is at this moment. The team is not yet ready to come onto the pitch, but a big day for the Australians, and indeed a big day for the Germans, but perhaps the biggest day in the history of Australian soccer. A quarter-final of a World Championship. How they got here, Argentina were the first victims of the Australians. They were beaten 2-1 in Sydney. Then that saber-rattling 3-all draw in Newcastle, and that was followed by the 1-all draw in Sydney with England, which put Australia into these quarterfinals. The Germans, who played in Group C of the championships in Adelaide and also here in Canberra, began with a 1-0 victory over the Mexicans, then lost 2-0 to Egypt and beat the Spaniards here on Thursday night 4-2. Well, let's have a look at some of the goals and some of the highlights of how these two sides got to the quarter-final.
So the chance of Egypt go up in the crowd here at the Heimark Stadium. Brunner, Herbst again, got a touch, here's Lorza. Shown, chipped it on beautifully. First goal of Germany. This brings the number 3, hails from the TSV 1860 München club in West Germany. And he's the only representative in the German side from that club. And now Herbst, here's the danger man. Then he deceived the goalkeeper, he can't great anticipation to cut out that cross. But it's not all over yet. Shown with a shot and so Germany. So now the free kick taken by Lorza. Alfred Schoen. That ball still not effectively cleared. Sievers nods it on. And there's the shot. Challenged by Rodriguez Rodrigo on Lorza. And so the free kick goes West Germany's way. With Peralta on the near post. He's free. Yes, goal number 4. Tredic possesses a great left foot. The target man, the shot. Yes, Australia! And now Australia again, back over halfway. Chips it on for Kousas. Kousas, his man. It's a penalty. And and that's one that they'll talk about for a while. That's it. So Australia pull one back.
Oh, there's a bad foul by Pellegrino, and the play is allowed to go on because Australia are in possession, in a good position. Kusas, a good turn. Kusas, a good goal. Blair is up there over the far side. Certainly a lot of pushing and shoving there. Oh, Kusas put it in. Flick back by Ruti. There's an up and under. Hey, here's a chance now for Australia to head it. Hunter! Argentina will be kicking themselves that they allowed this one to be turned into a goal chance by Mitchell. Unselfishly set it up for Hunter, and that's right into the back of the net.
Well, that's how these teams got to the quarter-final. There were some of the finer moments, and there are the two sides on the field now. The giant Socceroo meeting all the players, and the players meeting them. And now the players are being introduced to the dignitaries. Dignitaries being Sir Arthur George, the Australian Soccer Federation President, Harry Cavan, Executive Member of FIFA, Mr. Peter McCann, the Vice President of the ASF, and also the German Ambassador, Mr. Fabricius. So there are the runners and riders for today. Tom McCain, you've seen the German side on 3 occasions now. On the latest occasion, here on this ground, they banged in 4 goals very impressively, beating Spain. How should the Australians go at them?
Well, they'll have to run at them, Les. They'll have to get rid of the markers, because the Germans are very good at picking out your danger men, marking them very closely. I think Les Shineplug, the Australian coach, will have told big David Mitchell, our front man, to tackle the goalkeeper. He's a very good goalkeeper, Falburn, but very little pressure has been put on him. But Mitchell, he likes to go at the goalkeepers, one of the reasons being that his father was a goalkeeper in Scotland and has taught him exactly what goalkeepers don't like. The German power we saw in the highlights, not only is their shooting hard, but it's very accurate. And so at the other end of the field, young Ahern will have to be in top form. Across the middle of the pack, they've got Sievers, who's the equivalent to Australia's Kay, does a lot of running. His work rate is tremendous. Also working in midfield is Losser. Now, he doesn't tackle, he's not a destroyer, but he reads the game very well. He's known as the new Beckenbauer. He's got tremendous vision, holds the ball, sets up play, and sends people away.
Steve Blair, the tall centre-back of the Australians, one of the mainstays of this Australian side. His partnership with Oscar Kriener has been exemplary in this Australian team. And Steve Blair, of course, a full Australian international, as we stand by now for the national anthems. And there are the formalities over now here at the Bruce Stadium. And the crowd buzzing with anticipation, as I'm sure so are the players. But indeed, having seen the Australian players and spoken to them during yesterday's training sessions and also in their hotel over the last couple of days, they don't seem to be overawed by this occasion at all. Their positive thinking remains with them. There's the Australian lineup. Australian coach Les Scheinpflug has decided to stick with the trusted old rule of not meddling with a winning side. And with no injuries, the Australian side is as it was at the start of the game against England. Jim Patika stays in the midfield, and Grant Lee and Ian Hunter remain on the bench. So the Aussies line up with Ahern in goal, the familiar back four of Wheatley, Creano, Blair and Tredinick. In the middle, it'll be Patikas, Raskopoulos and Kay. And up front, Mitchell, Kousas and Incantalupo. Mark Kousas is the man grabbing all the headlines, having scored in every game so far, and indeed with 4 goals, he's the tournament's leading scorer. Surely one of the prime German tasks today will be to dampen his deadly opportunism.
Ladies and gentlemen, as promised,
the Germans too, having banged in 4 goals against Spain on Thursday on this ground, make no changes in their lineup. And that lineup is Vollburn in goal, Winkelhofer, Zorc, Schmidt-Kunz and Trieb across the back. Lohse, Sievers and Schön are the midfielders, with Antes, Herbst and Wolfart up front. And big Michael Zorc, the number 6, is the man who marshals the German defence from the sweeper position. Strong, intelligent and skillful. He's the man who will be causing the biggest Australian headache up front. The referee for today's game is on the left of your picture is Mr. Henning Lund Sorensen of Denmark. And the linesmen, incidentally, are George Courtney of England and Arnaldo Coelho of Brazil. So 2 Europeans and a South American forming the 3 officials here this afternoon. Staying with Jim Patikas may well turn out an astute decision for Les Scheinpflug. Rich in technical skills, the lush, smooth surface here at Bruce may suit his game much better than the sports ground did, or indeed the International Sports Centre in Newcastle. So we're almost ready for the toss now here at the Bruce Stadium for the Canberra quarter-final of the 1981 World Youth Championships. The Germans are a very skillful side, but where they're likely to match the Aussies in work rate will be in Ralph Sievers, their busy midfielder, who with his non-stop running represents the motor of their midfield, and surely the one man to blot out if this efficient German machine is to be neutralized.
Ladies and gentlemen, the people of Canberra, welcome.
Peter Raskopoulos, the Australian skipper,
To Bruce Stadium.
having executed the toss now, and the teams will switch ends. So Australia will be attacking the goal to our right. Peter Raskopoulos, of course, Australia's vice-captain. Ian Hunter, Australia's normal captain, still on the bench with that thigh injury. A mighty task for the Australians, facing the representative side, the youth representative side of one of the mightiest soccer nations on this planet. West Germany, having won the World Cup twice in 1954 and 1974, finalists on another occasion. They have a very rich soccer tradition indeed, and one of the most respected soccer countries in the world. So already having got this far, League One ad is a big achievement for the Australians. So it'll be West Germany in the white shirts, black shorts, attacking the goal to our left, and the Australians in the all-green strip attacking the goal away to our right. And that's a free kick to West Germany. Wolfart is the number 11. Back it goes to Zorc for number 6. And the smooth German machine goes into action. And a throw-in to the Germans. We shall see now whether the Australians will play with the hustle and bustle that they played in their first 3 matches, unsettling their opponents, and they certainly have to do that here today. Here's a throw-in to the Germans. Number 2 is Winkelhofer. In it comes, just headed out by Crino, and Raskopoulos takes over. Forward for Kousas. Winkelhofer is across to challenge. He goes past his man. Well done. In comes the right-footed cross. Mitchell. Turned well onto it, Mitchell. Didn't quite find the target. And a good swift counter-attack by the Australians. Mark Kousas, who got away on the left-hand side, took his time about the cross. Good low cross. A couple of players missed it there, and Mitchell had to turn full tilt, but he missed 4 or 5 meters wide. So the Australians already showing their colours with that swift, very deadly counter-attack, Tom McCain.
Well, I noticed one thing there, Les, as I said earlier, the Germans very close markers, and Smits-Koens is going to sit on Mitchell.
And Kousas almost got in again, but penalised for an offsides. Linesman's flag up. And a free kick to the West Germans. Number 5 is Trieb. Back to his keeper, Falborn, and across it goes to the right. This is Winkelhofer. Makes good space. And away by Wheatley. Straight to Schön. Number 13. This is Zivers. Good long ball, meant for Heps. Didn't find his man. And Australia can break now. Incantalupo. Long cross up towards Kousas. Near the far post. He has to turn now. Raskopoulos is there to support. And finally cleared by Winkelhofer. Winkelhofer, the number 2, seemingly assigned to mark Kousas. He came across from the other side and followed him. So it's a corner to the Australians. In it comes, low one. Wheatley. Number 6 is Kay, and he's offside.
This is the pattern the Germans followed against Mexico, Les. They've done their homework, they're picking out the danger men, and they'll sit on them.
In fact, a throw-in given by the referee. So, the number 6 takes it. That's Patikas tackling. Patikas. 1-2 didn't come off. The Germans can come away. Trieb inside. Doesn't find his man, and it's Incantalupo for Australia. Schön comes across. Successful challenge. And forward it goes for Loza, the number 10. Good back heel to Antes. Loza. And well charged down. Luck with the Aussies as well. The ball stayed with him. And away comes Incantalupo. Kousas. Challenge from behind. Hefty challenge. Winkelhofer, the culprits, and Australia's free kick just back from the halfway line. Oscar Crino, the Australian sweeper, to lob it high towards the penalty area. Now Mitchell. Just a little slip there. Back it goes inside, meant for Patikas. Steve Blair. And safely back to Glenn Ahern. The sun shining across the pitch away from us, so neither keeper really troubled by it. Perhaps Glenn Ahern slightly more discomforted by it than his opposite number. Australians on the attack. Crino. Across to Blair, who's got lots of space. He goes on his own. Here's a shot. Gallant try by Steve Blair. A good 30 metres out. He wasn't that far away. There's Steve Blair just lashing at it. 4 or 5 metres wide to the left-hand side, but well worth a try. Now it's West Germany. That's good ball out to Wolfhard. Goes past his man in Wheatley. Small cross in, and that's a good-looking winner. What a fine save. Loza, the man who executed the header. And he's disgusted, but Glenn Ahern can be very, very pleased about himself. In came the cross. Beautifully executed diving header. And look at the reflexes of Ahern here. Wonderful save. In comes the corner. Loza. Reed tried the shots. Looks for a free man. Goes on his own. And Mitchell was awake to it. Still a throw to the West Germans. This is Schön. He's got lots of space and he'll crack it. Not too much power behind it. No problems for Glenn Ahern.
And that's a tremendous start for him, Laser. It'll give him a ton of confidence.
So Glenn Ahern, the hero of the moment, releases his man on the left-hand side. Peter Reskopoulos, left-footed cross in. Away by Winkelhofer. Number 9 is Herbst, good back heel. Winkelhofer. Now the Australians can break. Okay, just losing a bit of confusion between them, but Kay recovered well. And gets a round of applause for it. Forward it goes to Mitchell. And Mitchell fouled. And a free kick to the Australians. About 7 minutes gone in the match. Still no score in this World Youth Championship quarter-final. And the free kick specialist for the Australians, Peter Reskopoulos, lines up with Oscar Crino. Here's Reskopoulos. And it's well over. Peter Reskopoulos, who came very close to scoring on a number of occasions in Australia's earlier matches. That time not quite finding his target. Good 30 metres out though it was. He measured his shot and blasted it well over. Winkelhofer for West Germany. Schön, the number 13. Very difficult to pick these Germans up. For the Australians, they move around with great abandon, roving commissions for most of them. And that's out of play and an Australian throw. Peter Reskopoulos. Mitchell. And obstruction from behind from the number 3, Schmidtkuns, and it's a free kick to the Aussies. Peter Reskopoulos waiting for assistance. In Cantalupo goes down the right flank, and in comes the cross from Reskopoulos. This is Kay. Chip forward. Good ball that was. In Cantalupo tries it. No save. In Cantalupo grits his teeth and says, oh, why didn't that go in? And it was really the excellence of this keeper, Rudiger Vollborn, that defied the Australians. Corner to Australia. It'll be Fabio in Cantalupo who came into the reckoning in this side very late in the preparations. Will swing it in with the left foot. Away. Wolfart away for the Australians. Almost every Australia player in the West German half now. Crino forward. Batika, drop down, flag up. And the whistle goes. Michael Zorc, the number 6, the culprit, as Jim Patikas gets a nasty nudge from him. And that was a very positive, loud whistle from the referee, Lund Sorensen. So free kick just outside the area to the home side. And this crowd here really buzzing with excitement now. Peter Reskopoulos and Fabio Incantalupo lining up. Incantalupo, he tries the direct shot. The keeper was awake to it. And the West Germans can come away. So the Australians looking as positive as ever, Tom.
They certainly are, and I think this will have shaken the Germans' legs. I don't think they thought the Australians would shoot so hard, or low. I think they've been looking for high balls to Mitchell. The Australians playing very well on the ground.
So Fulbourn wants his men to go right up forward for the high ball up the middle, and up it goes. Under it was Antes, and out of play of the Australian number 3, Tredinic, for a West German throw. This is Schön. And the Australians can break. Mitchell against 2 defenders. Schmidt-Kunz is there to recover for the Germans, but the challenge is on, and the whistle's gone. Foul by David Mitchell. Referee Lund Sorensen right on the spot, and it's a free kick to the Federal Republic of Germany. Fulbourn switches the direction of play to Trieb, the number 5, and across to Zorc for sweeper, and back to Trieb. Forward, the long one, headed down dangerously from Prino. Wheatley can do some rescue work, but it's still West Germany. Here's Loza. And the long ball over the head of Tredinic. In comes the cross. Nicely cut out by Prino. And the Australians are away. In comes Saluka, Kousas, Raskopoulos, forward to Patikas. And a timely tackle from Trieb. I bet he was grateful for that. Patikas was about to gallop away with that. And the throw in already taken. Here's Credo to Wheatley. Low cross in. And Kay's free inside the shot. These Australians really take no time to think at all. They just go about their business as if they had an hour to think about it. And that really is what Paul Kay should have done there, is to have a shot. The gate was wide open and it swiveled away. Goal kick. And the long one forward. Credo's under it. Here's Tredinic. Now Mitchell. The Australians are playing well. Credo. Chip forward towards Kousas. Trieb is with him. Trieb's the winner. Forward it goes towards Herbst. And well cut out by Steve Blair. Still Australia. Wheatley in towards Mitchell. Kousas almost there. Finally hit away by Winkelhofer. This is Loza, the captain. And he's fouled. He's looking at the referee. Got a bit of a knock on the left knee there. And a free kick to West Germany. And Zorc, the big centre-back, about to take it. Up it goes, up towards Wolfart. Wheatley wins it in the air. Credo. Credo again. And a nice by the number 3, Anton Schmidt-Kunz. On David Mitchell. Free kick to the Australians. In Cantalupo. Tried to lob it over Antes' head, and Antes was awake to it, but he could only hook it away in desperation for an Australian throw-in. Again, the Australians pressuring the Germans. In Cantalupo. And Mitchell under it. Mitchell again. No foul. Still Australia. Here's Raskopoulos. Well curled in. And away for a corner by the number 5, Martin Trieb. So the Australians achieve yet another corner. Big Cantalupo will take it. And again, the in-swinging left-footed corner from Cantalupo. Lobbed in. Up goes the keeper, and he grabbed it just in time. So he releases Herbst on the right. big central striker who dropped back to help. Here's Loza. Out of play. Australian throw. "15 minutes gone in the match. Still no score here at the Bruce Stadium." Crino for Australia. Back to Blair. Back it'll be to keeper Ahern. And really the keeper on the other end has been the busier of the two goalkeepers here today, which can give you some indication as to who's piling on the pressure so far in this match. Blair losing it. Loza. And back it goes safely from Tredinic. Having a fine game, Peter Tredinic. And now Patikas for Australia. 2 men in the middle. That's cut out by Zorc. Can the Australians continue this incessant pressure, Tom?
Well, Les Shineplug says they're as fit as they'll ever be, and in the end, Les, if it goes on like this, it could be the fittest team winning. The Egyptians ran the legs off the Germans in Adelaide. The Australians may have to do the same here, or vice versa.
Here's Mitchell in, and he's fouled. David Mitchell, the big central striker from Adelaide City, just copying it from the German number 3, Anton Schmidtkunz, and that's a free kick to the Australians.
And it's the 5th foul on Mitchell. Obviously
Mitchell,
a marked man.
So in comes the ball. Here's Kousas. Okay, plays it back to Crino. Chipped forward. Raskopoulos. And it's still in play. Schoen is the number 13. It's out by Blair, the safe one. Throw into West Germany. And it'll be the number 13, Alfred Schoen, to take it. And again, it's Crino who clears as the Germans advance by some 20 meters or so. And Tredinic losing it, but recovering. And the Germans again. Good cross in that was. Well away by Wheatley as Terps went too far under it. And again the Australians break. Here's Paul Kay. And it goes to Incantalupo. Free and unmarked on the left. The Germans caught out then. And the Germans want to throw, but the referee will have none of it. Australia's throw in. Okay. Incantalupo turns on it nicely. And was that a deflection? Yes, it was. The referee gave a corner. So the Australians get another corner as Incantalupo challenged once again as he got this ball from Raskopoulos, turned very well around his defender, made himself lots of space, and as he tried to cross, it was deflected away. In comes the corner. Blair under it, missed it. Number 9 is Herbst. And out it goes to Antes, the number 8. Sievers. Across it goes to Loza. The shot is on here. He makes space. Well tried. Well tried from Ralph Loza. Good, smooth, typical German attack that. Just slightly catching the Australians unawares in defence. And it was Loza, their big skipper, become midfielder. He made himself good space and turned it pretty softly into Ahern's hands. Now, Robert Wheatley gallops away here on the right, crosses in. Kousas was under that, and that'll be a goal kick. It was Kousas' header. Kousas got the last touch. Good run by Wheatley, accurate cross as well. And look at Kousas. He's deadly in those positions. Now West Germany again. Here's Schoen. Good, elegant midfielder. Gives it away that time, under a bit of pressure from Patikas, and Australians break. This is Kay. And Zorc can recover for Germany. And the long one up the middle again for Wolfart to chase. The number 9, Herbst, is up there as well. And Herbst steals it from Frederick. In comes the cross. No problems for Australia, as one of the German strikers slipped and fell in the penalty area. And the Aussies can come away again. And here's their busy midfielder, Paul Kay. Out it goes to Incantalupo. Fabio Incantalupo from the Juventus Melbourne club. One of the younger members of this side, just 17. Here's Raskopoulos. Taking his time. Cheekily back to Crino, and that's across to Blair. Bringing the Germans out of position. Crino again. Forward for Mitchell. Raskopoulos takes over. Australians are pushing the ball about rather nicely. Playing rather more the possession type of football that we saw from some of their opponents, Tom.
Exactly, and they're doing it very well, and this will frustrate the Germans as long as they don't do one of those passes and put it straight to the opposition.
Here's Paul Kay now. Patikas, and Paul Kay's free on the right. Well-timed tackle from Reeve, the number 5. Another corner to the Australians. And it's all Australia. As 23 minutes elapse in this first half, still no score. Paul Kay with a corner. And Wolfart just ballooning it in the air, an Australian throw once again. Roland Wolfart from the ASV Duisburg club in Germany. Now Wheatley with the throw for the Australians. Now here's Sievers. And Wolfart was held by Crino. The referee will have a couple of words to say to Crino about that. And Crino is apologetic, and the Germans can take their free kick. Across it goes to Zorc. And the short one for Loza. Out to Trieb on the left. Roving left fullback. Back inside. Winkelhofer. He makes good space. And away by Patikas. All of the Australians dropping back in this half now. Australians playing with great composure and character. Playing a very, very mature game for their age. And Mitchell can't get through the ring of Germans. But Patikas can hook it away. Goes straight to Sievers. Here's Wolfart. Patikas. Wants a free man. Finds one in Blair. Or Crino rather. Across it goes to Blair. Now Paul Kay, forever in space. A good run by Tredic. Challenge coming from Antes. And Tredic losing out, and it'll be a corner, yes. Antes overcomplicating it for himself. Rebound coming off Incantalupo. And in comes the corner from the Australian number 11. Patikas. And the Germans bring it away. Herbst. Trieb is the number 5. This is Loza. Brought down by Paul Kay. Paul Kay doesn't believe it. But no loud protest from him, and the Germans can take the free kick. Away they come. Here's Zevers. Lorze. Wolfart weaves his way in. A bit of skills from Roland Wolfart. Good sample of West German skills there from the West German left winger. Mitchell's under that. Now Schön. He's got good space on the right. Couldn't get it as far as Antes, away by Tredinic. Incantalupo, 3 against 3. Australians will need some reinforcements. Corner given away by Zorc. Michael Zorc, the big sweeper, who gave the corner away, and Australia get yet another corner. 8 corners to the Australians now. And that's plenty, and it comes. And again, it's West Germany now, through Lorze. Out it goes to Wolfart. This is Trieb, the number 5. And bearing down on him was Jim Patikas. Gave him no room whatsoever. Jim Patikas back in the starting 11. And here's Martin Trieb. Across to Lorze. Trieb again. And his kick. And the shot from Zevers. This kick coming from Mark Cruces, of all people, who came back into the penalty area to do some rescue work. And in came the cross. There was the missed kick. And Zevers was right on the spot to blast it away, but he was well away. So about 28 minutes gone in the match. Still no score in this quarter-final here in Canberra and the Bruce Stadium. Australia on the attack. Mark Cruces. And that's a throw-in to the Aussies. Mark Tredinic. And yet another throw. Tredinic again. Now Crino losing it, and so the Germans. Lucky break for the Germans that didn't bounce right for Mark Cruces. The man who got it away was Winkelhofer. And it's Tredinic again with the throw. Mitchell. That was meant for Kay. The Germans can break again. Here's Herbst. Across to Lorze. And to Zevers. Back it goes towards Lorze. Hooked away by Reskopoulos. Now Patikas. Crino. Cruces. Crino again. He wants a free man up front. Here's Mitchell. Good ball into Cruces. He wanted to have a shot. Now Patikas. And across to Incantalupo, but the man who read it quite easily was Schön. Here's Antes. Mark Cruces got a little bit of a knock a couple of seconds ago. Got a problem there. With half hour gone in a match, and it's still Australia 0, West Germany 0. Lorze. Forward it goes to Schön. And finally the ball can go out of play. I wonder if Mark Cruces can get some attention now. And yes, he does. Charlie Jurisic, quick on the pitch to attend to Mark Cruces, the Australian leading goal scorer, and indeed the leading goal scorer in the championship. 4 goals to his credit, scored in every match so far. So nobody on this ground can be displeased. Indeed, anybody at home shouldn't be displeased either, Tom, about the way the Australians are going.
No, and Mitchell is doing the right thing. He's being close checked there by Schmitzkunz, but he's laying the ball back. As long as the midfielders keep coming through, he'll push it back to him.
So a corner then to West Germany. And Antes will be the man to take it. It'll be an outswinger with the right foot. And well away by Crino. Here's Zevers. Up towards Hertz. And Wolfert, and it's off! Just off the line. Corner given. The referee was beautifully situated for it. Right on the byline. Away from the left-hand post. But that was very, very close indeed. Look at this. In came the tap. The ball bounced over the keeper. Beautifully hooked away by Blair. Right on the line. And a man injured. It looks like Steve Blair who's down. Stephen Blair, man of the moment for the Australians. A bit of consternation from Les Scheintlug and from Raul Blanco. Here's the corner. Well headed away by Krusas. The Australians can come out now, but the Germans will press forward again. Here's Winkelhofer. Now offside. Here's Wolfart. Well tried. Ahern well down for it. Wolfart, the man who constituted the danger on the Australians again. He caught this ball beautifully on his chest, made good space onto his left foot, and that was perfect for the shot. A bit low, and no problems for Ahern in the end. That was Zorc, forward for the Germans. Crino. Inside, Touquet. Crino's on his right, but he wants the long one forward for Patikas. Interception, and the Germans can come away. That's Wolfart out to Loza. And across to Schön. Well tackled, but it's still Germany. That's Grieve, Schön. Loza on his left. Wheatley will come across to challenge. And Loza takes it on. Good right foot across, and that was dangerous. Still in play. Well cracked back in by Antes. So again, a bit of powwow in front of the Australian goal. Here comes the throw. Oh, no shame, off the post. Schön who threatened, and the Australians escape once again. Here's the throw to the Germans. There's that incident again where the Australians escaped just off the post there. Glenn Ahern really didn't know much about it, and the ball was finally cleared. Well, perhaps signs now, Tom, of the Germans creeping back into this game.
Well, this is the way they play, lads, that they put on tremendous pressure there. They threw everyone up, including their fullbacks.
10 minutes to go in this first half. Still no score at the Bruce Stadium. And the Germans break again. Patikas. Raskopoulos. He's in Cantalupo. Good ball. Good ball to David Mitchell. And the interception from Schmidt-Kunz rescues the Germans. And again, it's an Australian corner. David Mitchell got away from a beautiful ball from Incantalupo, and he took his time, measured his cross, and when he made it, the deflection came off Schmidt-Kunz for an Aussie corner. Low corner, short one to Raskopoulos, and that's well tried, well tried. The keeper, and indeed every German in that penalty area, indeed probably every Australian, accepted a cross there. So Peter Raskopoulos did ever so well to try it. Here's Zorc for West Germany. That's Schön on the right. Herbst is in the middle, but that's cut out by Blair, and the soft one back to his keeper, Leonard. Leonard from Sydney City. One of two Sydney City players on the pitch today. And now it's Incantalupo. Oh, goodness. Just had a knock at that ball, just towed the ball on, and that's what gave the goalkeeper his opportunity to save it. That's as close as the Australians have come so far to scoring. That's a free kick to Australia, but there's the incident again. Forward the Australians go. Well crossed in, dangerous. The number 3, roving left back for West Germany. Here's Patikas. Across it goes to Incantalupo, 3. Well tried. So Fabio Incantalupo threatening twice in succession within a minute as he picked up this ball on the left. He really makes good space for himself, this man. And cracked it, and then it spun away off the far post, away from the far post. Corner to Australia. In it comes from Kay. Away by Zevers. Now Oscar Crino for Australia. Incantalupo. And again away by Trieb. There's the German number 8 midfielder from Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga. Professional footballer, 18 caps. 7 minutes to go in this first half, and it's still Australia 0, West Germany 0. Steve Blair trying to break through. Now Paul Kay. On the left-hand side, it's Incantalupo. Up towards Mitchell. And a foul by Mitchell on Trieb, the number 5. David Mitchell penalised. Free kick to the West Germans. And Rudiger Vollborn, the West German keeper, very, very busy this afternoon. Certainly the busier of the two keepers. Raskopoulos. Back it goes to Crino. He'll look for a free man up front. The free man on the right is Paul Kay. Challenge comes from Herbst. Here's Crino. Inside, Patikas. And Patikas hurried it. Bit of panic from Jim Patikas there. And away come the Australians again. Here's Crino. Back to Wheatley. It'll be a long cross up into the penalty area. Headed down easily away by Schön. And that's on. Forward it goes towards Herbst. Not finding his man. And Trevinick has to chase back to save the Australians again. 5 minutes to go in this first half. Still 0-0 at the Bruce Stadium in this World Youth Championship quarter-final. And a whistle goes for a foul on the Australians again. It'll be a free kick about 10 metres inside the West German half. So it was a match where the Australians started off with tremendous momentum and kept that momentum for a good half hour. And the Germans came back, and now it's more and more the Australians once again. Here's Raskopoulos. And the header down from David Mitchell, not quite accurate. David Mitchell's been threatening throughout the tournament, scored 1 goal. And away come the Australians again. This is Oscar Crino. On his right is Steve Blair. Raskopoulos and Crino again. On the left is Kay. Challenge coming from Loza. Here's Crino. Good right-footed cross. Crucis was up. So was Patikas. And free kick given against the Australians. So the Germans now slowing the match down just a little, trying to dampen this Australian enthusiasm and momentum. And really the Australians have been doing far more than just pushing forward. They were visibly trying to play football as well, pushing the ball about on the carpet. So really nobody can complain about their display so far. Here's another free kick to West Germany. Zorc. Zorc again. And now Mitchell. There's pouring forward. Raskopoulos. Mitchell still free on the right. Raskopoulos holds on too long. Here's Wheatley. And that's away for a corner by Winkelhofer. And I think the sun was in Winkelhofer's eyes. So he just headed it out over the byline, taking no chances at all. So a quarter to the Australians once again in Cantalupo, lofting it in, headed on by Patikas. Mitchell was there, finally hooked away by Loza. Now Crino, can he get it back into that penalty area again? Wheatley chasing this, can't keep it in. Thrown to the Germans. Zorc. Now Winkelhofer. And free kick to the West Germans. Already taken. The referee's let it go. Here's Zorc, lofting it in. Interception from Raskopoulos. Now Kay. Antes. Cross it goes to Zorc. Far on his left is Strieve, the number 5. And inside. Sievers looking at his opponent, Patikas. And it's the Australians away. In Cantalupo. First time try. Okay. Well, Australia could have thrown the bar. So it's at the German end, right? Okay. Australia again, Tredinik. Loza. Forward it goes toward Herbst, the number 9. Cross it comes, well away by Atrieb. Square ball to Loza. Herbst, first time. So a quick break by the Germans, outnumbering the Australians in that penalty area. Well picked up on this right-hand side. As Loza cracked it, and Herbst was the man who booted it well over in the end. So by our watch, the 45 minutes up in this first half, and still no score. Forward it goes, and there indeed is the whistle to end the first 45 minutes in this quarter-final. So, well, whether it'll be up or downhill from here, we shall find out in that second half. But Australia withstood the pressure well, and indeed have been taking the upper hand in this first 45 minutes. And we'll show you an example of that, an incident where Australia came very, very close. In it came, it was a corner. Indeed, it was a close shave for the Australians here. Booted away, the number 13, Schön got it back inside the penalty area. And it needed a very good work here from Steve Blair, who hooked it off the line, and that's as close as the Germans came to scoring, and indeed as close perhaps as we have come to seeing a goal in this first half. Well, we'll be back with more action in the second half in a little while. In the meantime, we'll leave you from the Bruce Stadium here in Canberra. And welcome back to the Bruce Stadium. This beautiful sunny Canberra, where the scoreline in this World Youth Championship quarter-final is Australia 0, West Germany 0. And that, I'm sure, is good news to the fans around the country. We hear that the underdogs in Sydney are doing it also. Beating England 2-1 was the progress score we had. So it's a very, very pleased audience here at the Bruce Stadium as well. Tom McCain, if you were Les Scheinpflug, I should think you'd be pretty happy with the way things are going.
I'd be happy, Les, but I think looking back on that first half, goalkeeper Ahern, he saved Australia twice and Blair once. Now, this wasn't through any brilliance by the Germans that they got through. It was mistakes at the back by our players. He will want them to keep attacking, but they've also got to tighten up at the back because the Germans very dangerous on the break. But we're playing them the correct way up front. In Cantalupo's got them baffled. We know that he plays slightly behind our two strikers, breaks into the left wing position, and they've got no one marking him. They've got Smits-Kuhn sitting on Mitchell, Winkelhofer, he's on Kusas, and when Cantalupo breaks, he's on his own. Good tactics by the Germans if they can keep it up, and if they can keep pushing forward from the midfield. As we said, Smits-Kuhn, he's sitting on Mitchell. If they give him a low ball, he can knock it back, but the midfielders must follow up and strike.
Well, that's the picture from Tom McCain, and that indeed is the picture from the Bruce Stadium here in Canberra as we await the return of the players and to see whether there have been any substitutions made. And indeed, if I was the German coach, Dietrich Weiser, I wouldn't be all that happy about the way things were going. Australia on paper, I'm sure they think should be a team that should be beaten, but up until now it has not looked that way, and indeed by the count of corners, etc., it's been the Australians all the way. So whatever happens from here on in, the Australians can already be pretty proud of themselves by their performance. The West Germans, of course, having come here as champions of Europe, champions in the 1981 European Youth Championships, originally qualified only by default when they came 8th in the 1980 European Championships, and the sudden withdrawal of several other countries allowed them to come here. But they have done better than that this year in the European Championship, when they finished first as the host country in the championships which were held in West Germany. We hear a substitution for the Australians. Fabio Incantalupo is out for the second half, and Grant Lee comes in at number 10. So that looks like an out-and-out midfielder for a striker top. Australians. The Australians playing in their familiar green and gold, of course, and the two Australian coaches behind them as we follow the Australian players out across this tartan track here in this magnificent National Athletic Stadium. So one substitution in the Australian lineup. As we said earlier, Fabio Incantalupo, who's been threatening the Germans in the first half, has been taken off, and Grant Lee, the number 10, has been brought on for the home side. There indeed is Grant Lee. He is with Sydney City, which brings the number of Sydney City players in the Australian lineup to 3. And he was, interestingly enough, quoted before the championship began, and before, of course, he would ever have known that they would meet West Germany. He was quoted as saying that he favoured West Germany to win this title. So he would be a man who would have a lot of respect for his opponents today. Now the German side enters the field, looking just a little bit distraught. Little hug from Kookaburra, and I'm not so sure whether that's exactly what those players would want to be indulged in at this time. But seemingly no substitutions in the German side. Just to refresh your memory, their side is Vollborn in goal, Winkelhofer, Schmidt-Kunz, Zorc and Trieb across the back, and in the middle it's Antes, Lose and Schön, and up front it'll be Sievers, Wolfhard and Herbst. Lose, the number 10, Ralf Lose, is the top scorer for the Germans so far. He scored 2 of their 6 goals. Plays for Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga and has got a staggering 37 caps at youth level for his country. So we're just about ready to be off and away in this second half of the World Youth Championship quarter-final. The Bruce Stadium, and Australia, who have kicked off, playing in the all-green strip, attacking the goal to our left, and West Germany in their traditional white shirts and black shorts. And it's a West German throw. The referee wants it taken back by Schön, and Schön leaves it for Winkelhofer. And the first touch then for the German keeper, Rüdiger Vollborn, and out it goes again to Winkelhofer. Tries to break past Mitchell. Winkelhofer still. Sun absolutely beaming down on this stadium now. This is Schmidt-Kunz. A long one forward towards Schön. Schön chested down very nicely. Challenge from behind. And the Germans can't break through. They have to bring it back and play it across to the other side. And free on this side once again is Antes, the number 8. And that's lofted forward towards Sievers. Man intercepting was Prino. So the Germans get a throw in about 10 or 12 meters inside the Australian half. There's Schön. Sievers well across, first time. And the man under it was Steve Blair. And that's the first quarter of the second half, to be taken by, to go to West Germany. So the first blood drawn by the Germans. Very casual start to this second period. Not as much gusto as there was at the beginning of the first half. So here's the corner then. Outswinger. Now Zorc tries it, deflection, and thank you very much to Glenahern. Wolfhard was the man who got a foot to it. The ball spun off his foot, and Glenahern was there. What a fine corner that. Good looking corner, ball bouncing down there to Zorc, who had a good crack at it, and then the ball spun off the foot of Wolfhard, and Glenahern said, thank you. This is Lose. Now Winkelhofer. Getting away from the man he's marking, Mark Koussis, and fouled by the Australian central defender, Steve Blair. And that's a dangerous distance for the Australians. The wall will have to be erected. Looks like about a 5-man wall up, and as Glenahern gets set for this free kick, Lose, Trieb, and it looks like Schön there preparing for it. So a set-piece move for the Germans. Lorze. Off the wall, out for a corner. Ralph Lorze, who scored 2 goals and has been the star of this German side, much against the publicity which said that Thomas Herbst, their number 9, would probably get all the goals, and in fact he hasn't scored as yet. Here come the Australians on a good break. David Mitchell. Out on his left is Brantley, but he's caught in the turn, and Antes combining. So that's a free kick up the other end, much the same distance as that free kick that the Germans took. What a good run by David Mitchell. A push and shove there from Antes and Schön, and he's brought down, and the referee has no doubts that that's a free kick. 5-man wall up for the Germans. A good 10 meters away from the kicker, as it should be. And it'll be Raskopoulos. Kreno's there. So is Lee, and so is Kay. Raskopoulos lobbing it towards Mitchell. Down by Zorc. And away by Trieb. And it's out of play. A bit of breathing space for the Germans as the Australians set off on another attack. Here's Kay. Lofted with the left foot. Good ball in for Lee. He makes good space. Well tackled. No, he wasn't. And it's still Australia's ball. Here's Raskopoulos. And now the Germans can break. Steve Zivers, the number 15. Herbst wants it in the middle. And will be too close to Creno. No problems for Australia. And out goes the throw into Paul Kay, Australia's busy little midfielder. David Mitchell's the number 9. Brought down, bit of a scuffle with Schmidt-Kunz, and it's Germany's free kick. Just about 6 minutes gone in the second half, still no score. Still Australia 0, West Germany 0. Throw in. And that'll be easily picked up by Raskopoulos, and now here's Creno. Across it goes to Kay. Challenge coming from Wolfhard. This is Zivers, try to steal it from Creno. And the Australians can break again. Here's Paul Kay. Inside him on his left is Patikas. Kay again. Patikas is through the gap. That's a lovely ball. Good work by the keeper. Give Patikas the man foiled. Corner to Australia. Good work by the Australians. Paul Kay was the man who made it. Look at the way he whips inside his man here, and then on the blind side puts it into the gap. Perfectly weighted for Jim Patikas. And by the time Patikas to pick the ball up, the goalkeeper's there to point it. Here comes the corner. And it's palmed out, and in fact off Brantley for a West German free kick. So a very promising attack there by the Australians. Fast, determined and intelligent, Tom.
Yes, Patikas certainly got the ball from Kay, but he ran into the space, and before Kay parted with it, Patikas said put it there, and he did. Beautiful run.
So there's the goal kick then to West Germany. Just touched this way by Kay, and now Creno will allow it to go through to his keeper, Glenn Ahern. And up the middle it goes towards Kousas, waiting for it in the middle. Zorc. Wolfhard can't keep it in. And a throw into the others. To the Aussies, Roland Wolfhard was the man who put it out. And Glenn Wheatley will be the man to take it. Glenn Wheatley of Blacktown Soccer Club. And that's forward by Steve Blair. Up towards Mitchell. And the referee said that was a foul by Mitchell. Replay, a foul by the Australians. In fact, it was more than likely Kousas who was the culprit there, but the Australians got away with it as Creno comes forward. Makes good space for himself. He can even have a crack here. And he goes in the area. the referee given? A free kick right on the line. Well, I'd like to see that again. Oscar Crino was the man felled either on the line or inside. Here he goes, and it was just outside. I think the referee may have been quite right. So a free kick. There's the incident again. Let's have a good look here where the foul was committed, and it was clearly outside the area. So the Australians get a free kick just outside, about a yard out the 16-metre line. And Kousas is there, Kay is there, Crino is there, Raskopoulos is there, and Grant Lee is there. Here's Crino. Jork away for an Australian throw-in. Ball Kay. And it goes towards Crino again, who stayed up front. And Crino was the man who was the culprit that time, as a free kick was given away. And here's West Germany. Forward it goes towards Hepst. And now the West Germans break on that left flank. Wolfart, and well taken by the keeper. No problems at all for Glenn Ahern as the Germans got away through Wolfart on that left-hand side. He measured his cross. He had plenty of time and space to do it, but well taken by the keeper. And a little bit of pressure on Falborn's goal, again from that man, Mark Kousas. So 11 minutes gone in the second half. Still no score in this quarter-final. And that's out of play. Clash between Wheatley and the number 11 Wolfart. Wolfart is down as he gives himself plenty of time to recover, and the free kick's being given. And it comes from Zivers, and safely behind the line by Howard Tredinik. And Tredinik explains to Glenn Wheatley that he had no choice there. And in comes the corner from Antes, the number 8. Up goes Wheatley. No, he doesn't. Oh. Wheatley changed his mind. He was coming out to go up for the ball. And it was Schön who made the header. In came the corner from Antes. Beautifully taken corner it was. And there Wheatley changed his mind, gave space for the header to be taken, and thanks to him, it was over the bar. And that's safely back to Falborn by Chot. Forward it goes from Falborn again. Patikas is under it. And a foul on Mark Kousas. Just after the ball was played. Very late challenge. Very late challenge on Mark Kousas. A free kick to the Australians, as 4 Australians congregate near the penalty area. Up it goes towards Mitchell. Kousas wasn't following through. And easy work for the German goalkeeper. Good free kick once again from Kay that time. Up went Mitchell. The ball headed knotted down and in, and there was nobody there except the keeper for the Germans to capitalise. Now Grant Lee gets away for the Australians. Low cross in. Mitchell slipped. The Germans could clear, and finally Antes away. Here's Wheatley. Across to Blair. Short ball into Patikas. Just knocked forward towards Lee, but it didn't come off. Jork clears for the West Germans. So again, some fireworks in front of the West German goal. And now the Germans take over. Here's Loza. Not given room by Raskopoulos. Well cleared. West Germany again. That's Winkelhofer. Straight at Jim Patikas. Forward it goes towards Mitchell, and Mitchell's distracted. I think he might have cut something in the face there, David Mitchell, and the referee has some words to say to Anton Schmidt-Kunz about that. Here's the free kick already taken. Grant Lee foiled by Schön. Grant Lee, the man foiled for the Australians. A quickly taken free kick. It could have been curtains for the Germans there. But the Australians do get a corner out of it. And it'll be the number 6, the tiny Forte, to swing it in with the right foot. As the Australia chant goes up. That's headed away by Zorc. Here's Schön. Inside to Moser. Across it goes to Trieb on the left. Sievers is with him as well. Here's Sievers. Lofted into the penalty area. Wolfart heads it on, and Antes is offside. "15 minutes gone in the match, and it's still Australia 0, West Germany 0. 15 minutes gone in this second half. So the Australians, as I'm sure they don't know how else to play, Tom, still pushing forward.
And they're doing it well, Les. I think this may go into extra time.
Yes, indeed. And if it does, it'll be, remember, 15 minutes each way of extra time. And if it's still deadlocked after that, it'll be a series of penalty kicks to decide the quarter-final. And just cleared in the nick of time by Anton Schmidt-Kunz. And he'll be grateful for that. The Australians coming very, very close there. Just in the nick of time, off the line. Off the byline by Schmidt-Kunz. Corner to Australia. And once again it'll be Paul Kay as this deafening chant goes up. Once again. Right-footed outswinger. Up goes Colborne. Grabs it easily. And the Germans can come away once again. Here's Zorc. Lanky, skillful sweeper. And now Schön, also a skillful midfielder. And it goes to... And it comes across. Antes almost got to it, but the referee, the linesman indeed, gave a free kick or a goal kick to the Australians there. The man who constituted the danger was Holger Antes, the number 8, and the crowd, I'm sure, pretty pleased about the way things are going. But what they'll be wanting pretty soon is a goal for Australia. And it goes safely for for Oscar Clino, no problems for him. And Glenn Wheatley. Here's Clino. Elegantly making space for himself, and it goes for Raskopoulos. On his left is Kay, but it's through the middle towards Patikas. Intercepted. Sievers comes forward. Here's Antes. And Wirtz, well, neatly tackled by Howard Tredinnick. And that's knocked forward for David Mitchell. Challenge on Mitchell, and nice tackle by the number 3, Anton Schmidt-Kunz. Now Kay can break in. And again it's Schmidt-Kunz who executes the tackle. And that'll be a goal kick to the Germans. Building up for the Germans. That's forward well by Steve Blair. No problems for the Germans that. A little bit too long for Mark Kousas. Now Zorc for West Germany. Floated forward towards Antes. This is Crino. He turns so nicely on that ball, makes good space for himself. And just touched on there by Mitchell. And obstruction from Schmidt-Kunz once again. There have been no yellow cards from memory issued in this game. So no player in any real danger thus far. Free kick this time to the Australians. Peter Raskopoulos, chipped, right-footed, in towards Grant Lee. And the Germans can break once again. On the left, it's Trieb, the number 5. Inside, Loza, who's robbed by Kay. That's Patikas losing out. And rescued by Glenn Wheatley. Is Australia. Robert Wheatley, in fact. But the Germans do get a corner out of it. So a little bit of danger for the Australians as the West German coach, Dietrich Weiser, on the left of your picture, now with a slight hint of a smile on his face, looks at the opportunities here. And that's a good header down, and oh, very, very close. Raskopoulos and the keeper combining, finally off the line. Very, very close shave from that corner. So that's as close as the Germans have come to scoring, but it's Australians who break again. Here's Grant Lee. Forward to Mitchell into space. Can he round the keeper? Goodness me, David Mitchell, he should have gone around that keeper. How close did the Germans come there to conceding a goal? And it's the Germans who break on the counter-attack. Here's Antes with a shot. Well saved. Fireworks at either side now. But let's have a look at that incident in front of the German goal once again. Beautiful ball through here to Mitchell to run onto, and it did just that. Now here, he should have gone around that keeper, but tried to tuck it in inside him, and Zorc was there to easily rescue the Germans. Now the Germans breaking again, and that's Loza losing it, and he's on the ground a little bit troubled by that knock from Robert Wheatley. Number 10, Ralph Loza, one of the stars in this team. Indeed, this afternoon, as there's a bit of consternation on the faces of the German attendants on their bench. Here's Houtrinic, safely back to his keeper. "23 minutes gone in the second half. Minutes to go, and still no score in this quarter-final. Now Grant Lee takes his man on. Oh, well, he did well to challenge his man, went around him, made himself enough space, but miscued the cross. So the Germans live again, and it'll be a goal kick. Zorc to take it. Short one to Schön, the number 13, Alfred Schön. Here's Zorc again to take over. Now Schön. On the left-hand side, it's Schmidt-Kunz. Trieb. Forward, intercepted well by Wheatley. And a free kick to the Australians, even though it's a German player who's down. German player down, looks like Wolfhard, but the free kick already taken. Here's Oscar Crino. Out it goes to Raskopoulos. And now knocked across well to Wheatley on that right side, around a 4K. And a wasted opportunity. That's the Germans forward. Crino. All safety for Australia. And And now the Germans on the attack again. Here's Winkelhofer. On his right is Antes. And he turns. Winkelhofer can take over now, and here's Zorc. Schmidt-Kunz. Oh, that's given away to Mitchell. Bad ball. Persis is there as well. And neatly rescued on the Germans by Zorc. And the Germans breaking here again. Herbst knocks it in. And it's there. The Germans are leading. The Germans are leading. West Germany in the lead. So, a stunned gallery here at the Bruce Stadium. The first goal going to the Germans. 25 minutes into this second half. Good cross in. And there's the header down. And Glenn Wheatley couldn't clear it off the line. And the Germans are leading. Tom McCain.
Just what I was saying about this man Herbst. He's a striker, but you saw how he went to the wing, and that's a beautiful cross he put over. He's got to be marked all the time.
So it's 1-0 to West Germany with 20 minutes to go in the match. And that is the scoreline here at the Bruce Stadium in Canberra. And the Australians are still in it, still chasing for that equaliser now. In fact, they get a corner here, and the German coach, Dietrich Weiser, should be pleased. I was saying to Tom McCain during the interval that the way the Germans are playing, I'm sure they'll be happy with the one goal if they get it, and they got it that time. So let's see how they react to that. And indeed, let's see how the Australians do. They're pushing forward. There's how Tredinic just blasting it over the bar. A picture of exuberance and perhaps a little bit of impatience from Howard Tredinic. The Australians need that equaliser badly now. Here's Zorc. So Glenn Wheatley studies the area up front, and up it goes towards Mitchell once again. Schmidt-Kunz with the header down. And easily picked up by Falborn. And trouble. And again, it'll be Zorc who will engineer another German attack. Challenge coming from Mitchell. And that's still in play. Still West Germany. Here's the man who went off. Thrown to Australia. Here's Oscar Crino. Here's Grant Lee. He tried the shot. And that's forward for the West Germans again. It was Herbst who lost it to Steve Blair. Here's Loza for West Germany. Kusas. So Mark Kusas, now the challenge really in front of him. There he goes, trying to get past Winkelhofer again, the man who's been marking him all day. Here's Zorc for West Germany, as we hear the news that the English have turned the score on the Egyptians and are leading 3-2 in Sydney. Forward. David Mitchell, and Schmidt-Kunz was cool and calm about it. No problems for the West Germans once again. They can come forward through Winkelhofer. Okay. Knocked well forward towards Patikas. Is held. Penalty surely. Yes it is. Yes it is. Penalty to Australia. And the Australian bench is elated. Les Scheiflug was, I think, ready to go onto that pitch and tell the referee just what he thought of that. But the referee was dead right. He was on the spot. And here is how it happened. Jim Patikas got into the penalty area and there he was beautifully held. And it's a penalty to Australia. So a big chance for the Australians now to come back to level terms with 15 minutes to go in the match. And it'll be Mark Cousas, Australia's most prolific man, 4 goals to his credit, to take the kick. And what a moment this is in Mark Cousas' life. And he takes it too softly. Goodness me, Tom McCain.
He tried to place it, he didn't hammer it, he tried to place it, but nerves, I think.
That surely is the, yes, Tom, it surely is the sign of nerves. And this is where Australia's inexperience against top opposition pays the price. So Australia's big chance to come back into the match now evaporated. Mark Cousas nervously pushing the ball into the arms of the keeper. (1-0) the scoreline, still to Germany. And now it's Pino pushing forward. Across it comes, well taken by the keeper. Now Antes for West Germany. Antes again. Beautiful run. Well charged by Raskopoulos. Here's Kay. Mitchell losing it. And it's still Australia. It's that man Tom Kay who recovers for them. Now Grant Lee. Can he break through here? Patikas. He has to fight for the ball. He does and gets it. And it's Mark Cousas who tried to shoot with the left foot. It was worth a try by Mark Cousas that time. He has scored a goal from just such a situation, having to turn it onto his left foot. And once the ball was cleared from that melee, he turned well onto it and miscued his shot. So the Germans remain in the lead, 1-0. Now it's Germany on the attack again, but they're well robbed by Glenn Wheatley. Here's Raskopoulos. Forward it goes, in the space for Mark Cousas. Didn't find the gap, and the Germans can break again. And that's a foul by the Australians. And Ian Hunter getting ready to come on, and the man to be taken off will be Peter Raskopoulos. So a striker for a midfielder in the Australian lineup. Raskopoulos off. A substitution not yet made because there hasn't been a stoppage in play. But Raskopoulos will be coming off, and it'll be Ian Hunter who will go on. And there they go. So the vice-captain comes on, off, and the Australian captain goes on. Ian Hunter, the number 7, who scored a goal as a substitute when he came on against Argentina in the first match. Now here's the corner. Up goes Schön. Winkelhofer in, and that's headed well out, but it's still West Germany. Offside, the flag's up. Well, Tom, a striker for a midfielder.
Well, I noticed there Raskopoulos, he hesitated twice. I don't know whether his legs were giving out, but there's nothing Australia can do now but throw everything up front.
So Australians reinforcing their striking line, having sacrificed a midfielder for a striker, and that's exactly what they need to do. 10 minutes to go in the match, and it's still the Germans who lead 1-0. That's away in no-nonsense fashion by Zorc, and a header out by Wheatley. Still in play, but out now. German throw. Trieb. Cross it goes to Zorc. And that'll be safely back to his keeper.
One reason for the move, Les, is of course that Losser, the German midfield general, he's had to come off, and Brunner, who is more of a defensive midfielder, has gone on. So I think Scheinpflug can afford to throw another man up front.
So it's the Australians just having one of their attacks break down again, but it's still their ball. Oscar Crino. Still 10 minutes to full time, and it's 1-0 to the Germans. And a free kick that time to West Germany. Zorc, who's been playing exceptionally well in this side throughout the championship series, and again today takes the free kick. Forward it goes. Herbst gives it straight to Patikas. Patikas can get at it again, but Herbst robs him this time. On his left is Wolfhard. And he's robbed by the Australian number 7, Ian Hunter. And that, I think, was just about Ian Hunter's first touch of the afternoon. In comes the throw-in. Rune is the number 7. Wheatley forward. Brunner again. That's knocked back inside by Sievers. And the West Germans keeping possession of the ball. They're doing just the right thing with the scoreline in their favour. 1-0. Patikas to Kay, and it's the Germans who break again. It's Wolfhard on the far left, who gallops away. Wheatley comes across to challenge. And Herbst, point-blank range, straight into Glenahern. Glenahern holding the ball positively and confidently. Good run by Wolfhard down on the left here. Made space for that right-footed cross. Low it came, and Herbst blasted it straight into Ahern's arms. Wolfhard already scored for Germany today. He's the man who put up the scoreline that we have at the moment. 7 minutes to go in the match. 1-0 to West Germany. Now it's Oscar Crino. And the goal kick is held. Whistle's gone.
Well, that's the first time Mitchell's got near the goalkeeper, and he let him know he was there.
As David Mitchell, with a good strong challenge on the keeper, in the end fouled him, grabbing at him there, and the free kick had gone in West Germany's favour. And here's the free kick. Rudiger Vollborg. Forward it goes. And a foul that time on one of the West German players just on the centre circle. As we hear the latest scoreline from Sydney, England 4, Egypt 2. There's the incident again, and there's the challenge. It looks like a nasty case of a clash of heads there between the two players. So it could be a slight case of concussion on the German player. We can't quite see who he is.
I think it's Herbst.
Herbst, the number 9, who just missed an opportunity a few minutes ago. There he is. And he's up and around. So a bit of good news for the Germans, as Per Weiser makes his way back to the bench. And it'll be Zorc, the number 6, to loft it into the area. 3 players right on the edge of the area, 2 players behind them for the Germans. Here's Schön. 5 minutes to go before full time. 1-0 to West Germany. And Howard Trudinic brings it out neatly. Oscar Quino. Inside to Kane. Quino again. He needs space here. And he gets it. He's a good-looking, promising Australian break, but Quino overcomplicated it. Fell right for Mitchell, though. Challenge coming from Schmidt-Korns, and it goes through the legs of about 3 players there, and it's still Australia. Now Kousas. Still Kousas. Couldn't get it inside. And before it goes out for a corner, Schön could clear for the Germans. And now the throw in for the Australians. Ian Hunter hoisted it in. And that's out of play. The linesman right on the spot. German throw. And the German throw will be taken by Trieb, Martin Trieb. And it's an Australian throw this time. Here's Mitchell. Takes on his man. That was Schmidt-Korns tackling. And that rather fortunate that it went straight to Antes. And Wheatley lets it go for an Australian throw. Just 4 minutes to go in the match. Still West Germany leading 1-0. The Australians will have to pull out all stops now. And indeed, that's exactly what they're doing. Here's Grant Lee. And he breaks through. Can he get a cross in? Yes, it can. No! Patikas. Had to have a shot, Jim Patikas. And he wonders whether that'll be his last opportunity. Very, very determined run by Grant Lee. At the end of it, a good cross in. Deflection off a defender. And there is a third-time cross that's just ricocheting off his shin away for a goal kick. And the Australians on the attack again. Grant Lee, the man who's missing out on getting that pass. And a throw into Germany. Winkelhofer. Up went Lee. But it's still a German ball. Here's Brunner. Well robbed by Wheatley. He's had a good game. Forward it goes. Straight to Schön. You can only get a toe to it. And now it's Ian Hunter. Through ball to Kousas. Can he break through? Now it's Quino. Quino goes over. No penalty. And that's hooked away by Antes. So, tremendous pressure now on the German goal, as indeed it must come from the Australians in these remaining handful of minutes, which by my watch are exactly 3 minutes. Robert Wheatley in. Mitchell, Kousas! Mitchell again! Twice in succession. Holborn is the hero for the West Germans. And a very disappointed David Mitchell. Good cross in here. That brought the danger to the German goal. Head up first time in. Saved here by the goalkeeper as he punches it out. And then the rebound is taken by Mitchell. And look at the keeper here. Takes it beautifully. Again, the chant goes up for Australia as they are urged to roll forward in search of that equalizer. With a couple of minutes to go in the match. Now, Schön for West Germany. Antes, the number 8. Knocked forward. That's down for Wolfine. Back it comes to Brunner. And he tried to chip the keeper. Didn't come off. I think it was on his wrong foot. He should have done it with his left, and he tried it with his right. So Brunner, Thomas Brunner, the number 7, just foiled on that occasion, knocking it well over the keeper and well over the goal. Now Wheatley starts another Australian attack. Here's Pino, who's pushing deep into midfield territory now, deep into the attack. Here's Grant Lee. On his right is Paul Kay. Here's Kay. Coming across to challenge him is Brunner. But it's still Kay. Good ball to Hunter. He needs space on the right. And it goes out for a goal kick. And their precious seconds wasted for the Australians. They should turn those balls, as I'm sure Les Scheinpflug is saying, straight at those defenders, not away from them, because all they'll get then is goal kicks. Here's Schön, the number 13. And easily recovered by Steve Blair, and Ahern can start another Australian attack. Up the middle it goes towards Kousas. Now Kousas makes a run, but he won't get there. Winkelhofer was there first. And it'll be an Australian throw. As the Australians gather in the penalty area for this throw. Robert Wheatley takes it. It's a short one. Wheatley again. First time cross in. Up goes the keeper. He missed it. And the whistle's gone. The whistle's gone for a foul on the keeper. Mark Kousas, the number 14, foiled once again. And he says, no, 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 not again. In came the cross from Paul Kane. Let's see whether there was in fact a foul on this keeper. Well, it was hard to tell. Perhaps there was a foul on him as they went up in the air. So Australia foiled again. Free kick given to the Germans. Hard break for the Australians here, Tom McCain.
They've done so well, Les, but the goalkeeper, Colborn, he saved Germany. But that's what he's there for, and the Germans so cool in defence, so cool.
There indeed is the final whistle, the whistle to end the match. And there is the end of Australians' trek in this 1981 World Youth Championships. I'm sure that all of the fans here and at home will agree with me that the Australians were unlucky today. At least they would have deserved a draw. And I'm sure most people will agree with that. But the Germans go away winners, and it's the Germans who go into the semi-final against the winner of the match between Uruguay and Romania. So Australia's wonderful trek in this 81 tournament comes to an end suddenly. But I'm sure all of us will agree that it has been already a very pleasing performance indeed before the kickoff was made already for today's match. The Australian players looking naturally heartbroken as they go over to the other side now to thank the fans on that side. And it really is an emotional scene here at the Bruce Stadium as the Australians can finally say goodbye to their fans and to the 1981 World Youth Championships. It has been a wonderful trek for them. 2-1 win over the world champions Argentina, 3-all draw with Cameroon, a 1-all with the might of England. And there, I'm sure, tears coming to the eyes of Les Scheinpflug, a very tough man, a very uncompromising man, but I'm sure it's a very emotional moment for him. And the Australians walk off the pitch now. And indeed, that is where we leave you, here at the Bruce Stadium, with the final scoreline of West Germany 1, Australia 0.
There's late-night comedy next on 10 in Operation Petticoat, so night owls, stay tuned.
I can see you, I can see the games you play. In the sun, ain't it something to remember? I can hear you calling to your your friends. Everyone, it's the time to be together. Soccer. Yes, I know you're gonna give it all you got. Kicking round, you can really turn it on now. And I know you're gonna give it your best shot. It's alright, 'cause you really